Hi, Vicky and Sam. I wanted to make a video, hopefully a short one, and just tell you my thoughts on sorting and doing this puzzle. I know it's stupid me telling you how to do a puzzle when I'm sure you've done thousands and I've done one. But I just wanted to give you, just tell you how I did it or my thinking, and hopefully you'll get something out of this. And if not, I apologize for wasting your time. Two things. One, you gave Sam the credit for the idea for the puzzle camp and puzzle along thing. And that is a genius idea. I just love that idea. And second, you figured 10 people per day. And I think you're going to have way more than that. Dad even said that with all the people, he said they'll all be getting in each other's way. So even he thought you're going to have a lot more people than 10. Some of the things that I thought of that I wanted to share with you is before I started separating and sorting and all that, my thought was that I would separate all the big buildings and statues and bridges and all that big stuff and put them together and then just fill in the pieces around all that stuff. And it just didn't work that way because there are so many little things all over the puzzle that are around the bigger things. And for your puzzle camp, puzzle along, this is probably one of the best puzzles that you could have picked because there are so many different things for people to work on. And if you can sort as detailed as possible, like each building or each statue or things like that for people to work on, because when people come up here, when they came up here to work on the puzzle, they would just stand and look at it and not even know where to start. And if I had something specific, a certain building or a bunch of pieces of a statue or whatever that they could work on, then they did good because they weren't focused on the whole 42,000 pieces. They were just focused on one certain thing, and they would put that together, and then we would put that on the table. And you'll have a lot of people, I think. So if you can separate each thing and keep it on a separate cardboard or a separate area maybe of the table, that way a lot of people can work on a lot of different things and get a lot done that way. And a couple of the things that I wanted to mention was, first, the signs. There's signs all over the place. And I didn't pick out each individual sign. I just put signs. I think I had 3 different cardboards that were just signs. And my sister and a friend of hers and Dad did some too, put signs together. And the signs, putting the words together and all, that would be good for kids or teenagers if you have some there that want to help. I think signs would be interesting to them. And we did signs and just left them on the cardboard. And then once we got an area around the sign or that we could connect the sign, then we put it on the table just because we had spare pieces laying on the table and we wanted to save a little room. But once we got things built around the sign, then we put the signs on once we could connect them. Otherwise, we just left them on the cardboards. But I wanted to mention a couple things, like the Golden Gate Bridge. That's a distinct color red, plus it's got all these cables that come down from the wires at the top. So that when you sort those out, if you can sort all these wires out, the black lines that go up and down, that gets you a really big area. Not just the bridge, but a whole big area right there filled in. And a lot of the buildings, like this one, for instance, I separated the yellow part and I separated the blue part. I didn't know they were the same building. So you might get some of those too, that I did one half and then the other half, and then later on I figured out that they actually went together as one building, which is okay if you have them separated. Two people can work on that same thing and then eventually it get put together. And like this too, this is a darker blue over here and a light color here. And the Washington Monument, this gray part was easier, and it turns into a different color right here and comes down to the bottom. The white part was hard because there are so many statues and different white buildings that this could be even sky pieces. And I did notice there's two pieces right here that I don't think they go there. They're whiter than the rest. So I might have to try to figure out where they go. The statue of Lincoln is a crisper, darker color, but it almost looks the same as these colors when you have the pieces separated. Now the bottom of that was easy because it's a lot of black and white stripes, or gray and white stripes. And the Statue of Liberty, we were doing that, and that's a greenish color. And we had a whole bunch of extra pieces. We couldn't figure out how they all went in there. And it turns out that this is a green statue, and over here, right here, this statue is also the same color green. So you'll have them two colors. And a lot of the buildings, like this building, just as an example, it looks the same all the way up, but then there's some parts that look different towards the top and the bottom. It has some of these colors, like lines and different things, that it doesn't look like it would be part of that building, but it is. The Eiffel Tower is that way also. It had a couple greenish colors there at the top. And down here, this part didn't look like the Eiffel Tower to me. And Big Ben, the Elizabeth Tower, this part was easy here. That looked the same, but the side looks completely different. And a lot of that stuff I built one part and then the other part, and then later on found out that they went together. There's just so much stuff, so much little stuff, even like the roofs. Like this roof, and then this roof, and then this one. There's just so much little stuff, and so many different buildings. Each building, according to Adrian Chesterman, each building is a little different. And it is, but some of them are really hard to tell the pieces apart. There are two rainbows. Some of the Sphinx and the sand almost looks like the same as what this is. And the pyramids we thought would be easier too, and they weren't, because the dark spots on it on the one side are shaded, and that it makes sense when you look at it when it's together, but it's hard to tell when you're just looking at pieces. There's some gold things too. All these domes are gold, and this statue's gold. And this building's gold, and some other things here. And this bridge was easier to pick out. And some stuff on this hut, too, was also easier to pick out. I want to mention the mountains. Each mountain also is a little different. This mountain has white here, but it has a purplish color. And this other mountain, this one has the same white. The other one, the white went this way. This one, the white goes this way. They're almost mirror images of each other. But this one is bluer. It's got the white, but it's blue. And this one was a little trickier. It's kind of a blob of blue and white and blue and white. And that was a little trickier getting together. This mountain, it's not very big, but that was easy to pick out because it's like a pink and a purple color almost. So that was an easy one to pick out, but it wasn't very big. This one is really blotchy. Like he almost took a sponge and just dipped his color on it. And it really made it blotchy, different places. So that mountain is a little different. This mountain, it has the dark, really dark blue and not quite so dark blue. And then this side has more brown in it, more dirt or more brown rocks going this way. And that mountain almost looks like two different things, but it's a shaded side and a sunny side. And this is a little different shade in through here. And on this side, it's a more of a cream colored with a lighter blue. And this mountain, you pretty much get this whole mountain done just because it has the lines going through it for the bridge. And you even get a little bit of sky in there too that has the cables from the bridge. So you kind of get that mountain done just from doing the bridge. And this one is spotted like he might have took and did a sponge on that, but it's a lighter blue. And then this one has more horizontal lines on it. So each one is a little different, and each building is a little different. Something else that messed me up was if you look at this color, I would have never thought that was a Mount Rushmore, a statue in rocks. It's a blue and a gold color, and it just didn't make sense to me where that would go. But and this is a little bit like that too, and this. But it turns out that that's the shadow of the eyes and the nose and the mouth on Mount Rushmore. Now, it's upside down for you there, but it just doesn't look like those colors would go there. But they do, and a lot of these buildings, you can tell they're different according to different sides. It doesn't look like the same building. But I think the more detailed you and Sam have it sorted, if you have the time, that it'll be easier for people to come and do a little part and then put it on the table once it's done. These roofs, these Japanese roofs here, they were easy to pick out also. And I wanted to mention too about the sky. You might want to, when you do the border, if you want to mark where each repeat section is. Each bag has 2 repeat sections. Like this, from there to here is half a bag. And here is half a bag. And we have it marked, that's where the sections are, the repeating sections. So if you do from here down, that'll be one section, one repeating section. And then there are 7 more sections going down to right here at this mark. That's the edge of that section. And, oh, this is easy too. I think that's the Italian flag on them planes. That's pretty easy to pick out also. But there are 8 sections from here up there. And once you get this one section here, this is probably the easiest section to do. Now, Russell from Puzzling in Two Worlds, what he does, he takes a pencil and he'll put it on a piece. Say he's looking for that piece in the next bunch. He'll come down and this is the piece right here. So he'll look for this piece because he knows that it looks like that piece. And he'll look for it and get it. And then he'll move his pencil over one. And then he knows that he needs to find the next piece, which is this one. And he does it one piece at a time like that. What I did was I took this whole row, whichever row I was working on, say the 3rd row, I took this whole 3rd row out in that row. I took the whole row out and put it on a piece of cardboard. And then I knew I needed 7 more of each of those pieces. So I would take this piece and I had my sky sorted by shape. And you might want to do that right away before people come, just because it does help, even if you're just doing it by puzzle piece without going by the pattern. It might be helpful to have it done beforehand, just so you don't have to do it during those 2 weeks. But I know I needed 7 more of those because there are 7 more sections down to the Italian airplanes there. So I would look for 7 of them. And sometimes I wouldn't find all 7 just because maybe there was a bird or a building or I just missed a piece. But if I was lucky, I would find all 7 of those. And then I would look for this piece. And hopefully I could find 7 of those. And I would put them in a vertical line going down under this piece or under this piece. And then I would put them all together according to how it looked. So I would have 7 rows plus the original row. I would have 7 rows then that all look like they belong together. And then I would take that row and come up to the next section and think, okay, I have the 2nd row. I need the 3rd row now that looks like it matches the 2nd row. And I would put that row in. And then I would come to the next section and say, okay, I have 6 left now. And pick the one that looks like it would go in there. And then I would put that row in. And then I would come to the next section and do that row. And I would just I could do a whole row, 8 sections at a time, 8 repeating pattern sections at a time. That way I could go all the way down to wherever I stopped at here. And the reason that I say 8 sections is because right here, you can see there's a little bit of a color difference too there. I don't know if your puzzle will have that color difference or not. Right here, beside your Italian plains, this is where everything from here down, the sections are flipped 180 degrees. So the pattern isn't the same from here down as it is from here up. You'll have 8 sections the same from there to right here. And then you'll have 6. You'll have 3 bags, which is 6 sections from that end to this end. So what you'll want to do is, this end is the easiest of these to put together. So if you do this section, then you'll know you need 5 more. You can take a row out, and then you'll know you need 5 more of each of these pieces. And then once you get them done, then you can go through and put a row here and a row here and a row here, and fill that whole row in all the way up to right here. This is where the joint is, and those pieces, those 6 sections, you don't really have to worry about bags because you have it mixed together. So those 6 repeating sections will end right here. And that's how I did it. And I did try it first, just doing the sky like a normal puzzle. And then I sorted it by shape, and that kind of helped too. But it would have been a long time. And even doing it this way, when you're all done getting those pieces in, some of them still aren't going to look right. And we had to move a lot of pieces around. Sometimes a whole area, like a whole, maybe an area like this, or a whole part of a row. Or just, if it didn't look right, then we would try it in the other spots. You know, there's 8 spots that each one of those pieces could fit in. And if you notice in my videos, we didn't get the border done for a long time. And I don't think we knew about the repeating pattern, but we had the border not done for a long time because we just couldn't get it to fit right. We knew we had the right amount of pieces, we just didn't have them in the right place. And also, I want to mention, this video is longer than I wanted it to be. I want to mention the green pieces, because we had a lot, maybe 6 cardboards or so of green pieces. And every place where we marked where the joints were for the individual repeating sections. And every place where that is, there's a lot of trees that come up through, because he didn't want to, I guess, between the bags, he didn't want to have a building half on one bag and half on another bag. So he used green to separate a lot. Like right here, you can see there's a joint there, and there's a lot of green all the way up through there almost. And then a mountain, and then sky. And that's okay. There's different shades of green. There's a lot of green. We probably had 6 cardboards. And there's a lot of green. And the thing is, the green a lot of times is right at the joints. So the repeating pattern is going to mess you up, because a lot of this joint on both sides is going to be green. And then you come down here, and this joint on both sides can be a lot of green. So those are pieces that could fit anywhere. And we did have some green that was not where it should have been. But the green, usually, for the most part, we could tell that it wasn't right. And we could switch it around with some different ones. I think that's everything. I know I'm not a good one to give advice. This is about the only puzzle that I've done. And I don't know if any of this will help you or not. Hopefully it will. If anything else you want to know or to look at closer, let me know. All right. That's all. Good luck puzzling and sorting, and looking forward to all your updates on this. Okay. Talk to you later, Vicky and Sam.